This is Prince Louis of Wales. He is 7 years old and loves sport, especially rugby. But one thing you can always count on Prince Louis to do is steal the spotlight with his fantastic personality. Just look at him go.
No one realized that Prince Louis is actually Charlotte's biggest fan. While attending the Christmas service, the Wales family received lots of flowers and gifts. When Louis received chocolates from the crowd, without even thinking, he ran straight over to give them to his sister Charlotte. Unfortunately, Prince William took the chocolates away because he was worried too many sweets would hurt his daughter's teeth. Even though William took the chocolates, Louis got flowers, and his first instinct was to give them to Charlotte. Turns out Louis is truly Princess Charlotte's #1 fan, and this gesture from her little brother made Charlotte really happy. William, who was standing nearby, saw his son's kind gesture and patted Louis on the head to encourage him. In the royal family, it's rare to see siblings as close as Charlotte and Louis. Since he was born, Prince Louis has been cared for and looked after by his sister, Princess Charlotte. Charlotte also loves her little brother so much that even when she had just learned to walk, she wouldn't let go of his hand. However, as he's gotten older, and with all the attention from their parents, Louis has become more and more mischievous and less disciplined. Luckily, Charlotte is there to keep him in check. No one else can handle the naughty Louis as well as she can. At the Platinum Jubilee celebration, Louis kept waving his hand, and Charlotte had to make a gesture to calm him down. Despite all of this, Louis still loves his sister the most. No matter where Charlotte goes, Louis will always follow her. Louis clinging to Charlotte looks exactly like William and Harry back in the day. Indeed, no matter how mischievous a little prince is, he cannot escape the innate authority of his older sister. During a parade, 4-year-old Prince Louis sat in the carriage, excitedly waving to the crowd, only to be quietly scolded by Charlotte to mind his manners. Moreover, during the Platinum Jubilee celebration, Louis kept acting playfully and even wandered around the stands, prompting an exasperated Charlotte to tell him to stop. However, Louis did not listen. Instead, he placed his small hand directly on his mother's shoulder. Kate could only respond with helpless resignation, yet rather than fearing Charlotte, Prince Louis became even more attached to his sister. During a Christmas event, after receiving a gift, Louis immediately ran to Princess Charlotte, excitedly showing her the toy he had received. He followed closely behind his sister like a little shadow, showing his deep affection for Charlotte. It seems that whenever Louis gets mischievous, only Charlotte can keep him in check. For instance, during the parade, when Louis couldn't help but dance to the music on the platform, Charlotte, realizing it was a formal occasion, tried to stop his impromptu performance. However, no matter how strict Charlotte might be, it never affected the bond between them. This naturally brings to mind the childhood days of William and Harry. Princess Diana once revealed that young Harry was especially dependent on his older brother. Wherever William was, little Harry was sure to follow. When they played on the slide together, William would instinctively reach out to protect Harry, afraid he might fall. May their sibling bond last, unlike the current state of William and Harry's relationship.
Why does King Charles like Prince Louis? A photo reveals the answer. Everyone knows that King Charles has 5 grandchildren. But if you want to say who his favorite grandchild is, it's not Charlotte, who is loved by the public. Charlotte's jewel-like blue eyes always remind Charles of Diana. This makes him not have much preference for Charlotte. In fact, his favorite is another grandson. On Charles's 70th birthday in 2018, a photo reveals the closest relationship between him and Louis. Louis, who was still a baby at the time, grabbed Charles's face playfully, and Charles responded with a loving smile. It was even Louis who took the initiative to sit on Charles's lap. Seeing such a close interaction between the grandparents and grandchildren, people realized that Charles could be so loving. His relationship with his 2 sons is not particularly close. In recent years, his relationship with Prince Harry has been quite tense. However, through getting along with his grandchildren, people have seen another side of the king. He treats his grandchildren like a normal person. King Charles also loves his grandchildren very much. Maybe he is not a perfect father, but he is undoubtedly a loving grandfather now. So do you like Prince Louis?
The Prince Louis Shorts era is officially over. Once upon a time, no matter whether it was a sunny day or a cold and windy winter day, Prince Louis always wore shorts, and every time he appeared, he looked like a little prince out of a fairy tale. Even if the upper body is wrapped tightly, the lower body is still the iconic shorts and stockings. But recently, he suddenly changed into a small suit and trousers combination, instantly becoming a copy of Prince George, triggering netizens to discuss Louis graduated? This is not a coincidence, but a tradition that has been passed down by the royal family for 100 years. In the British aristocratic culture, young boys wear shorts, whereas youth can wear formal trousers. From Charles and William to George, all of them have followed this trouser-length rule. George wasn't allowed to wear trousers until he was 8 years old, while Louis, at 6 years old, finally made an exception in the winter. Perhaps it was Kate's fear of the cold, or perhaps it was a mischievous Louis who didn't want to be different from his brother. Whatever the reason, these trousers marked the beginning of a new phase for Louis.
Honestly, I've always wanted Louis to stay as carefree as he is now, to keep loving the world with his whole heart. In his book, my brother Harry painfully wrote that he felt like just the plan B for the throne, a spare part if anything happened to me. I never want Louis to feel that pain. So at home, I made sure his bedroom is the same size as George's. They share equal toy shelves, and even their family photo spots are carefully rotated. My wife Kate always kneels down to tell Louis, "You, your brother and sister, you're all equally important pieces that make our family whole." We removed assigned servants so all 3 kids share chores equally. The media loves catching Louis making silly faces, but that's exactly what we're protecting, his light. When he spills juice, Kate wipes the table and says, "Next time we'll hold it together." A child allowed to make mistakes learns to face the world without fear. My regrets became his rainbow. Only now do I understand why Harry stepped back from royalty. An absent older brother might have been Harry's wound, but a present father will be Louis' armor. Bloodline isn't a shackle. Love is the only crown that lasts. Harry, if you saw Louis tiptoeing to wipe his sister's tears, you'd know I didn't shatter royal rules. I broke the